He kicked her out in the middle of the night, and now he wants her back. Will you forgive him? Welcome back to Raw Storylines, where we dive into real stories from our social media platforms and leave the rest to you in the comments. My boyfriend kicked me out in the middle of the night. Now he wants me to forgive him, and I am conflicted. Help. My boyfriend and I have been dating for just under a year, but were friends for a couple of years before we dated, and have been living together for only about 2 months. For context later, I thought it was too soon to move in together initially when he first started asking me to move into his house. But he was so excited about me potentially living there, always called it our house before I even agreed to move in. And we'd been having lots of serious discussions about the future, getting married, having kids, etc. And he finally wore me down. He also has a 7-year-old son he split custody with, who was also eager for me to move in. Things were all around good when this incident took place. The only major issue we had was his drinking. Most of the time he didn't drink much, but every few months I noticed a pattern of him binge drinking for a couple weeks or so, doing something stupid as a result, then stopping again. He's had several back surgeries over the last several years as a result of car accident he was in, his last surgery being just over a year ago. He doesn't take painkillers besides Advil and Tylenol, but when he tweaks his back bad, that's when he drinks a lot from the pain. It's something we talked about a lot. He will never hide it from me when he was drinking at home, and something he was trying to stop doing. He was at the tail end of one these binges when the incident took place. About every other weekend or so, I'll go out after I get off work. I am a bartender with one of my best friends I work with, a girl my boyfriend is good friends with too. We have gone on vacations with her and her boyfriend. I'm not a huge or drinker or go out all the time, just every now and then, usually with this friend. My boyfriend had never cared about this in the past, and he joins us sometimes and is always invited. My friend and I have one particular martini bar we go to if we do go out after work. And as soon as I get off, I call my boyfriend to let him know. It was about 9 p.m. when I tried to call him, and he had his phone on Do Not Disturb, so the call wouldn't go through. Sometimes he goes to bed pretty early, so I assumed he was sleeping, and I texted him to let him know where I'd be and we do. Every hour, I was texting him something during the night, and I love you text, and just heart emojis. His phone stayed on D&D, and I hadn't heard from him. Usually, I am home around 12 or 1 if I go out. This night, I was out a little later as me and my friend ran into other co-workers of ours, females, also mutual friends of my boyfriend as he used to work with us. The bar we were at closed at 2, and we all headed out. My friend was driving me home since she hadn't drank much, and as we were walking to her car, my boyfriend finally calls me. I pick up, happy to hear from him, and he is pissed. As soon as I answer, he asks me where I am, who I am with. He woke up and I wasn't home, and he thought I was dead. Asked why I hadn't texted or called. That hung up on me. I was so confused and shocked at the way he talked to me, and at the fact that he didn't know where I was when I had been texting him. I tried calling back and he wouldn't answer. Then I texted him a screenshot of all the texts I had sent him, telling him where I was, and that I tried to call, but he put his phone on Do Not Disturb, so obviously his phone wasn't ringing when I called. He texted back, find somewhere to stay tonight, and come get your shit in the morning. I started sobbing. My friend consoled me and took me to her place for the night. My boyfriend has never talked to me like that. Even if he was drinking, I was just appalled. The thing too is he had just been drinking heavily for a couple of weeks. We talked about it and he threw out the rest of his liquor the night before and come to find out later he hadn't even been drinking this night. It's almost would have been better if he had been. He said he was just still out of it from drinking too much the weeks before this happened. The next morning, I called my mom. Her and my dad live nearby, and we all have a great relationship. Told her what happened, and she said I could stay with them while I figure out what to do. My friend took me to my car, and I drove to my boyfriend's house. He had put the chain on the front door, so I wouldn't have been able to come home if I had tried the night before. He lets me in. I walk past him and start getting my essential stuff together. He is surprised. He asks, "You are not even gonna talk to me about it first?" I said no. You told to get my shit and leave, and started packing up my car. I thought he might have apologized in the morning, and maybe he was drinking when he called me the night before, but he was still pissed. Come to realize, he still did not realize I had texted him and thought I was lying. I had to show him my phone again, that I had called and texted and explained he put his phone on DND, so he chose not to get notifications. He uses DND all the time. I assume he knew how it worked. Now, he finally started to calm down, but I was over it and I left. He called me as soon as I left, finally started apologizing and asked me to come back. I said no, I couldn't. He left me alone for the next couple of days, and I immediately found an apartment and signed a lease. Cost of living is very high where I live, so renting a 1B apartment by myself is a lot, but I'm making it work. I went back to his house to pack the rest of my stuff, and he was still so shocked I was actually going through with it. He finally seemed back to his normal self, was appalled at his actions, apologized profusely, cried, and said he respected me for moving out after the way he treated me. This happened 2 weeks ago. Now I'm in my new apartment with my cat, and while things still suck, I'm happy where I am, and I'm happy to have my own space finally. I had been living with roommates before I moved in with my boyfriend. My boyfriend has been trying to get me to give him another chance since. He's committing to not drinking again. Period. He's not said this in the past, just that he wanted to drink less. He gave me the money back for rent and bills I had given him for that month, and is giving me money for some of the furniture I left at his house that I couldn't fit in my apartment. Either way, I'm in my new place and not moving back, but have considered staying in contact with him and taking it slow and seeing what happens. I know that seems stupid. I just really thought this guy was my person and was seriously planning a future with him. Would it be totally naive of me to consider giving him another chance? Any advice? Welcome. My life has been a crazy mess the last couple of weeks. What would you do in her shoes? Should she give him another chance? Or is walking away the right move? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you want more real, raw, and relatable stories, hit that like button, subscribe to Raw Storylines, and turn on the notifications bell so you never miss a moment. Until next time, bye bye.